Alright guys, so today I'm making my soap for the soap challenge for January. My country was Nicaragua, and it's known as the country of lakes and volcanoes. So that's the fact that stuck out to me, that inspired me to make this soap. And one interesting fact about Nicaragua is that it actually has 25 volcanoes, and they're almost straight in a row on the west coast of the country. So that's kind of different. So I already have my lye and my milk here, so I'm going to go ahead and pour it to my oils. I already lightened my oils with titanium dioxide. And like I said, the inspiration of this design is the fact that Nicaragua is known as the country of lakes and volcanoes. So I am definitely having a water element and a volcano element in my soap. Hopefully it turns out. I hope it turns out. This is a pretty intricate design that I'm trying. Well, intricate for me at least. It's a pretty advanced design for me. So, not for some of you soapers out there. And I just want to get it emulsified. I'm just going to split the batch into two because I'm going to have one part stay white and the other part's going to be blue. Just going to add a little at a time here. I want it to be like a light ocean blue. I don't want it to be dark blue, so. Looks like I'm just going to have to be adding the whole amount. Let's see. It's not quite as blue as I want it, so I am going to add a little bit more. Take this out. That's much better. All right. So now I'm going to add the fragrance. And the fragrance that I chose, I wanted to do my fragrance. I have a specific fragrance blend for one of my soaps called Dusk Rain. And the blend, smells just like that, just like fresh dusk rain. But I only have one of the fragrances for that blend. So I am using that, which it's white tea and ginger. That's the fragrance that I use for this blend. That's one of the fragrances that I use. And let me go ahead and hold on. Let me get another spatula. That's one of the fragrances that I use. And so since it is still kind of a crisp, oceany type scent, because it reminds you of the ocean, the spa, and it's very clean. So that's why I'm still using it in this. I know I have a little bit of blue on here, but I'm just going to give it a quick... Didn't mess it up too bad, so... Sorry if I'm not talking too much. I'm trying to concentrate a little bit. Alright. Give it a once over, and now to pour. Now, this is the part that is one of the techniques that I haven't used before, that I've never done before, and it's magma soap. Clear, or using melt and pour with cold process soap is something that I have not done yet. So I'm scenting this with Spiced Mahogany and some Cedarwood. It's a very, very smoky scent, and this is going to be the lava for my soap. Definitely went over on that. Let me clean that up a little bit. And where did I put my... Hold on 1 second. There we go. I was gonna stick my spatula in there and give it a swirl, but I'm kind of scared, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. So now I'm just gonna let this sit because I need it to thicken up for the next step. I already see how I messed up though, because I did fill it up too much. So I'm putting an embed on the top, and this is already filling up to the brim, so I'm not going to be able to push it in that much or else the soap is going to overflow. So so that's how soaping goes, especially when you're doing a new soap that you haven't done before. You can count on mistakes. So, but we'll see how it goes. I'll be back in a few. Alright guys, so I wanted to show you my embed. Since I don't know how melt and pour works that well with cold process, I wanted to show you this first because I'm probably going to have to put this on top before this thickens up enough for me to use it. So this is my embed. This is going to be my volcano. What I did was I needed to find a mold to make this shape, and I couldn't find one because I thought about using a box top, but with the 90-degree angle of a box top, it would make the triangle too shallow. So what I did was I actually used this mold, and I made a heart out of it. This is clear and white melt and pour together. It looks like a big honking piece of chocolate, but I made a heart, and then I cut off the top and I cut off the bottom, and then I cut the curves off, and that's what I got. And then I took my whisk, my plastic whisk, and I just beat the crap out of it to give it a rugged, textured look like a volcano. And I'm gonna do that as well once I actually cut it, so that way it won't be like flat sides and two flat sides and two rugged sides. So I will do that, so it'll look like more of a volcano type look. So I'm actually gonna put this in now because I'm not sure how it's going to go with. I'm gonna spritz it with alcohol just in case. I'm not sure how it's going to go with melt and pour. And see, it's already going over, and I need to really put this in there so it'll stick. Oh, the big mess. As I told you, I did put too much in here, so anyways, so that's that part. And I'll come back later once I get these two ready to pipe. Alright, so I cleaned that mess up. Now I'm going to have my hand at some piping. I've done this before, so I just never used this this tip. So I'm not sure how to. I'm trying to create waves to make it look like it's splashing or something, like the surf. So it's not really coming out like I envisioned, considering all the mishaps. And I was talking, and I've never done this design before, so I wasn't paying attention to the fact that I wasn't supposed to pour that much melt and pour inside because I needed it for the top. So I actually had to make some more melt and pour soap because I had it calculated, I had the measurements calculated out perfectly to where it would fit the mold, since I was going to put two different types of soap in. It's kind of messy there, huh? Alright. Now, This is very, very smoky. I've never used a smoky fragrance before, so this is a first. I feel like it's a lot like peppermint, that you have to use it in moderation because it's extremely strong. So I'm kind of worried that the white tea and ginger isn't going to be make an appearance. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And no, I'm just going to leave it like that. All right. I'm not messing with it because I don't want to mess it up any more than it's already messed up. So there it is. There's my soap inspired by Nicaragua. Let me clean this off here. I guess I can't really clean it off. There's my Nicaragua inspired soap from the country of lakes and volcanoes. So tomorrow, hopefully it won't be such a disaster when I cut it. So see you guys tomorrow. Alright, let's get to cutting this soap. This gave me a hell of a time trying to get it out of the mold because since I messed up and I over poured on the melt and pour and it overflowed, especially when I put the embed in, it got all over the mold and it actually stuck to the mold. So needless to say, I have to clean my mold up. But I got it out, and it did mess up some of the parts. Like this, all this right here came off. It's right here. So just that one mess up just completely, it didn't completely ruin the soap, hopefully. I won't know until I cut it, but none of this was supposed to be here. It was supposed to be just all the blue. The orange was only supposed to be a secret swirl on the inside. So this is still kind of cool because I did stick this in the refrigerator so it wouldn't turn brown. The white wouldn't turn brown. And I'm hoping I can cut this. Let me get it right. Yeah, and my cutter broke. This has definitely seen better days, so. Definitely is harder to cut because of the melt and pour. Look at that. That turned out pretty cool. Let's get another one. I was really scared of how this was actually going to turn out. Like I said, I've never done anything like this before, this intricate before, so this was definitely new to me. And considering that I messed up on the melt and pour, I was kind of scared. But it actually turned out pretty cool. And the scent is actually, it smells actually really nice. I thought the smokiness was going to overpower the ocean, the green tea and white ginger smell, but it didn't really, so that looks awesome. It's like a little volcano. I do see that I pressed in the embed more than I should have. I kind of just wanted it to be right here. So if I ever do this again, I know I only put just a little bit of the melt and pour and I don't press in that much on the embed. So that's another reason why a lot of the melt and pour just went everywhere. I need to cut more evenly too. Doesn't really help when your cutter is broken. think that looks awesome. That turned out really cool with the melt and pour in there. I'm sorry, I don't even know if I'm in the shot. I think that turned out really cool. Let me get a paper towel real quick. Clean this off. At least I know now with the Spiced Mahogany and Cedarwood blend that I put for the lava, it's going, like I had said before, like I think I'm gonna have to use that, like use peppermint oil because it's so strong. You don't use as much as a normal fragrance, and I think that's what I'm gonna do in the future too. This definitely has air pockets in it though, because the soap started to set up, so it has a little bit of air pockets in there, but other than that I think it turned out really cool. I'm excited. I didn't think it was going to turn out that well. I am unfortunately for me, I am quite a perfectionist and have major OCD. So even if I do something and it turns out to be a success, if it didn't happen the way that I specifically had planned it to happen, then I automatically consider it a failure. So I'm happy that this turned out okay though, because I was super scared that it wasn't going to turn out right. So that's the end piece. So I'll just let these harden up a little bit more because it is still kind of soft, and then I'll go ahead and I'll bevel the edges and everything to make it look really nice. So there you have it, guys. I'll put pictures at the end, so stay tuned for the pictures. And there you have it, my soap for January 2013 soap challenge, Nicaragua.